If you've been living under a rock the past couple months, you probably have bigger things to worry about than who Taylor Swift is dating, but since you're here anyway, I'll just go ahead and fill you in. So here's the timeline. And yes, I did get this off of a Cosmopolitan article, so if you're curious about 99 things to do to a naked man, I'm your guy. Not because of experience, because the article. So July 7th and 8th of this year, Taylor Swift had tour dates at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri, part of her wildly successful Eras tour. Travis Kelce, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, was in attendance one of those nights. And on July 26th, in a podcast he hosts with his brother, Jason Kelce, called New Heights, he mentioned that he wanted to give Taylor Swift a friendship bracelet with his number on it, but he didn't get the chance because she doesn't meet fans after the show, because she does one of these every night, and I think she performs 44 songs.
Speaking of Taylor Swift, I know you went to the Taylor Swift concert. How was it?
Yeah, well, I was disappointed that she doesn't talk before or after her shows because she has to save her voice for the 44 songs that she sings. So I was a little butthurt I didn't get to hand her one of the bracelets I made for her.
You made her a bracelet?
Yeah. If you're up on Taylor Swift concerts, there are friendship bracelets, and I received a bunch of them being there, but I wanted to give Taylor Swift one with my number on it. All right now.
Ooh, your number's in 87 or your phone number?
You know which one. So
on September 12th, it was reported that the pair had been quietly hanging out. I just know that reporter got that scoop the day before and just thought to themselves, maybe I should just wait until tomorrow to break this news. It doesn't seem very appropriate today. And I appreciate their restraint in doing that. So next, September 14th, both of the brothers were asked about this new potential relationship on different NFL programs. Neither one of them really said too much about it, but just 3 days later on September 17th was the first day that a couple references were made during an NFL broadcast whenever Travis Kelce scored a touchdown against the Jacksonville Jaguars. But then on September 18th, Taylor Swift was spotted wearing an opal necklace, which fans determined was Travis Kelce's birthstone. So maybe get a job, I guess. And all hell broke loose when Taylor Swift showed up at Arrowhead Stadium on September 24th to watch the game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Chicago Bears. So the camera cut to her about as often as possible, and the guys in the broadcast booth were scrolling through her entire discography, just hoping to find something they could work into their calls throughout the whole game. But I mean, hey, she was loving it. I mean, this is her after Travis Kelce scored in the third quarter of that game. Clearly, the NFL was all about it. Their whole social media feed was Taylor Swift posts for the whole week after. And when Taylor showed up to MetLife Stadium to take in the Chiefs at the New York Jets, it was more of the same after that. The intro to that Sunday Night Football game was hosted by Carson Daly on The Voice set, of all places, and it really just welcomed Swifties to the NFL directly. Featured a bunch of Taylor Swift song references and closed out with Welcome to New York. And of course, they showed her a bunch of times during the first half of this broadcast. I think I saw somewhere on somebody's post that they panned to her about 17 times during the first half of the broadcast. And so after this game, Kelce addressed all the attention they were getting on his podcast again, saying that the NFL was probably taking it a little too far.
Let's get right to it. Is the NFL overdoing it? What is your honest opinion?
I think everybody's just overwhelmed
your feelings
with
for Taylor. What is your honest opinion on how the NFL is treating celebrities at games?
I think it's fun when they show who all is at the game. You know, I think it brings a little bit more to the atmosphere, brings a little bit more to what you're watching. But at the same time, I think
they're overdoing it.
They're overdoing it a little bit for sure, especially my situation.
So the NFL responded by basically just saying, nuh-uh, even though their Instagram bio had been changed to the Chiefs are 2-0 as Swifties, and their Twitter banner was just pictures of Taylor at that night's game. So Taylor's been to 4 games so far, and the mentions have slowed down a little bit, but never to 0. And all of the sports pages on Instagram, like ESPN, SportsCenter, House of Highlights, they're already minefields whenever literally anything gets posted more than a single time. But as soon as a woman is posted, all bets are off. Even on posts that didn't have Taylor Swift in them, some comedic geniuses would be sure to point out something that maybe you might have missed if you weren't paying close attention, and that's that this post isn't about Taylor Swift. That's hilarious, man. No, genuinely, I'm surprised. I really don't know what you're doing in this Instagram comment section. I don't know why Comedy Central hasn't called and asked you to do an hour for them. That's honestly, you might be the smartest and funniest person alive. You're probably really sexy too, I bet. But the NFL has no incentive to stop. I mean, Travis Kelce's jersey sales have gone up 400%. Ticket sales have soared. And even viewership among women 18 to 49 has increased 63%. And honestly, I'm here for it. I mean, I've been all over Swiftie, Instagram, and TikTok. I've been in some crazy places on the internet just to make this video. But I mean, what I'm seeing is genuinely put a smile on my face. Like, people are asking what time the games are being played at. People are saying that this is the first time they've watched an NFL game. People are even like writing into the Kelce's podcast and asking basic questions about how the game works. And I think that's really cool. And like, the NFL doesn't need me to sit here and shill for them. And they're clearly only doing this to make money, to bring more attention to their product, nothing more. But I feel like the game of American football has began to expand so much more than just the NFL itself in the past couple of years. I mean, flag football is coming to the Olympics in 2028, and women's flag football is becoming more and more popular here in the States as well. So I think that as this thing expands, we're going to see more and more people get to know this game and get to love this game. You know, I think that that's a good thing. What I don't understand is the people in these comment sections, and let's be honest, it's mostly guys, saying like horrible things about Taylor Swift, saying she's ruining the game of football and saying that they're having the game taken away from them. I just don't understand that at all. When I think about the game of football, I think about all the joy it's brought me whenever I get all of my friends together every year to play a game on Thanksgiving, or all the Sundays I spent in college watching NFL Red Zone with my friends, or even the part that it's played in my relationship with my dad. Like, I just don't know why you'd want to keep that from somebody else. Obviously, the NFL is just trying to milk this for all it's worth, and I'm sure that a lot of the women who are tuning in just to see Taylor will lose interest if this thing with Travis goes off the rails. But I feel like if just a few people who go to a game or maybe watch a few on TV happen to see something they like and find a new appreciation for the game, I feel like that's worth it. I mean, when I first met my wife, she was not actively interested in the NFL on her own. She pretended to like the Cowboys just to try and get under my skin, but she didn't really have any active rooting interest that she would pursue independently. But after 6 years of watching pretty much every Texans game with me, I'll come home from work and I'll find her listening to players give interviews, or getting more upset than I will even sometimes when people speak negatively about the Texans. And I don't know, just having that experience, seeing the way that she enjoys the game differently than I do even, is just really cool to me. She's not a technical expert by any means, right? Like, she just got into it. She's not going to land a head coaching job anytime soon. But as much as she enjoys watching the Texans go out and compete every week, she loves following stories of guys like John Mechie, who was diagnosed with leukemia shortly after the Texans drafted him last year. And in just over a year, he managed to not only beat leukemia, but be back in game shape to get ready for training camp that year. She wants to wear his jersey around her pediatric oncology floor because she feels like that could be an inspiration to the kids that are sick and dealing with that. And she still may have questions from time to time about the details of the rules of the game, or maybe even the strategy of the game that I don't even always have clear answers for. But that's part of the joy of the game for us, is getting to experience it together and getting to watch her learn it as I once learned it with my dad. I mean, having experienced that myself, it just makes me feel really happy when I see videos like this.
Okay, girls, Taylor Swift said it's cool to go to NFL games now, so come along with me as we go to my first Browns game. My husband was able to score some super cheap tickets from TickPick last minute, and I was shocked with how close our seats were. If you've never been to an NFL game, girl, you're missing out. It is the one place you can be so loud and obnoxious, and it's actually encouraged. Unfortunately, I needed just a few drinks to get through the game because it did not go well for us Browns fans. On the bright side, though, our entire section cleared out by the fourth quarter. Even though the Browns ended up losing, it was still such a fun way to kick off my birthday weekend. And I guess that just means we're going to have to go back soon to watch them get a dub.
I mean, that's what it's all about, right? People becoming fans of something that they've never given a chance before just because Taylor Swift is involved now. Who cares if she's only there because Taylor Swift said it's cool to go to NFL games now? She hardly even mentions that after this point in the video. She's talking about how much fun it is to be at the game and feel the atmosphere, even though it is Cleveland and that organization is a disgrace to humanity. But something I want to make sure I mention in this video is that no, you're not cooler than Taylor Swift if you like football. And at the same time, no, you're not cooler than football because you like Taylor Swift. I don't know, when things like this happen, I feel like people have a tendency to sort of, I don't even know what the word is for it, but it's like, I can't believe they're going to have a football game during the Rihanna concert whenever Rihanna performed at the Super Bowl halftime show. Or things I'm seeing now where people say, oh, it's so nice of Taylor to let the NFL use her stadiums for a little while. Like, Taylor Swift is the biggest celebrity in the world right now. And that's great. That's awesome. I don't have a problem with that. Her music's not for me personally, just because I feel like she makes it for a very wide audience. But that's also why her audience is the entire world, right? So that's great. That's awesome. She's the best at what she does, and that's good for her. But I feel like victory lapping your idol's new boyfriend is kind of a little strange, right?
Isn't it crazy, all this like publicity going around Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, that now he's going to have a career because of her?
What are you talking about?
She is putting him on the map. Like, he's going to have a...
Homie is on the map.
No.
No, he's like the best tight end in the NFL.
Yeah, but like, I didn't know who Travis Kelce was unless it was for Taylor Swift. So now he's going to get such a huge career out of this.
I just can't imagine being Taylor Swift, starting to date this new guy and wanting to be supportive and going to show your support for him in a way that a lot of partners want to do. And then you go on Instagram and it's people pranking their husbands, talking about how irrelevant and how big of a loser your new boyfriend was before you started dating him, even though he's very talented in his own right, very successful in his own field. And I know these are all jokes, and I know that this is all just bait for the husbands, and that I'm probably taking the bait by even mentioning these videos. But I mean, like, I just can't imagine that, like, Taylor is seeing this and being like, yeah, you know what, Travis? You were a little piece of garbage before I started dating you. You're nothing without me. Your career is worthless compared to mine. Like, I don't think that that's their dynamic at all. I don't know. I just think that's strange. But hey, I haven't really seen that around as much as I have in the past, to be fair. I mean, I think it's because Taylor is there at the game that she's genuinely having a good time and she's like actively supporting Travis and what he does. And I think it's refreshing to see that, because I think it means that we don't have to do the go sports thing, because we're all smarter than that. I know we are. Like, if you don't want to get into sports or Taylor's music for that matter, you don't have to. It's not the law. But you can do that without, like, A, pretending that you don't know how anyone could ever be into that thing, or B, pretending like you're physically incapable of understanding that thing itself. I don't know. Point being, I guess, as always, is just let people enjoy things. Like, the guys who are in the comment section losing their minds, like, relax. First of all, because it doesn't matter. Second of all, you should be happy that more people are enjoying the game that you love. But also, like, if you really like Taylor, like, probably don't come in and be like, to something that somebody else might also really love and say like, oh, look at how much better Taylor is than anything you care about, you know? I think that we can go about things to where if we really like football, we don't need to see people who really like Taylor Swift come in and we just say, you're disgusting, I hate you, you're ruining the game. In the same way, like, if you really like Taylor Swift, you don't need to come in to this space like the NFL and say, oh, Taylor owns you. Taylor made you what you are. You know, like, the only reason anybody cares about this is because Taylor's here. You know, like, both of those things kind of just make people upset and rub people the wrong way, because people really care about both of these things. So again, just use your best judgment out there, online and in person. Just don't be rude to people. That's really it. That's all it boils down to. What do I know? I'm not Mother, so do what you want to do. So I have one more video to show. Doesn't really have anything to do with this topic exactly, but it is like tangentially related, so I figured I'd put it in the video.
If you watch football on Sundays, you're a loser. You can't even afford to go to the actual game, and you're sitting there watching football all Sunday. Well, if you want to stay poor, then you should keep doing this. How about you actually go to the game? How about you focus and improving the amount of income you have and not dedicate 5-6 hours on a Sunday afternoon watching football when your bank account, you're barely making ends meet? Go fix your damn life. You can watch all the sports you want. You can go to all the events you want once you get your money up. Until then, you got work to do. Stop wasting your Sundays.
First of all, when the NFL has games in Europe, I'm on my couch from 8:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. So 5 to 6 hours is child's play. Second, ever heard of the Sabbath, buddy? Not supposed to be working that day. God wouldn't like that. Third, I'm gambling the whole time. So eventually I will get my money up doing this, I promise. Anyway, that guy has some wild videos on his page. I think it'd be really fun to go through and look at some of them. So let me know in the comments if you want me to make a video about that. But I just thought that one was particularly relevant to what we're talking about today, so I wanted to share it. But that's all I have for you guys this week. Thank you guys so much for watching again. Second video in the books. Thank you for all the support on the last video. Appreciate the love. It's really great to get all the nice comments from everyone. If you have time this weekend, maybe check out an NFL game. And if you haven't listened to any of Taylor's music, maybe go check that out as well. Okay, so now that I'm officially done advertising for the two things in America that need the least advertising right now, we can get to our good guy and bad guy of the week. Our good guy of the week is Travis Kelce's mom, Donna, and our bad guy of the week is a tie between Roger Goodell and Scooter Braun. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next Monday.